guess about a year or so ago, we got approached by the Maine Woodcarvers, who presented us with a request to help them in the Eagle Cane project. Our president at that time, Peter McRae, thought it was just a neat idea, put the word out to the club, and took a little while to get it off the ground, but now we are producing those components of these Eagle canes that the wood carvers are unable to produce on their own, and so they've enlisted our help. And so there's one member of our club, a guy by the name of Bert Truman, who is pretty much our exclusive staff turner. He's got a special lathe, and he can cut these coves and beads here, and he can cut this tenon here, and he can do it, relatively efficiently on his lathe that's been specially built to allow this to happen. And so all of this work is being done by Bert Truman, Air Force veteran. Then the rest of the members of our club have been engaged in turning this little device, which we call an adapter, that has only a very few technical aspects to it. One is it's got to have a hole of a certain diameter. It's got to have a certain length this way, and it has to have a certain diameter on this end and a certain diameter on that end. And everything else is entirely up to the guy standing at the lathe, and he can do whatever he wants. Sometimes, especially when it's me doing it, it's pretty much what the wood does and what it wants, and I just sort of stand back and let it happen. Nonetheless, the important part is that this fits over that like that, and this adapter serves as the interface to the carved eagle head. And these are all rough done, and it require a great bit more finessing, but that's essentially it. So the carvers are doing this part, we're doing these two parts, and to be able to do something like this for them gives all of us a huge amount of pride, because it's a feel-good thing. At least that's the way I see it.
Several of the members got going on talking about the Eagle canes for veterans, and we sort of took up on it and went down to the VA. I got their take on it, and when they found out that what we were doing and why we were doing it, they went for it. The only rule is that we didn't make any money on the VA for doing it that way. They are very interested in making sure we keep veterans' confidentiality. Henceforth, that's why the tape is on all the canes that are on the drying rack. That's why the tape is there. We work in conjunction with the Woodturners. It was started by ourselves and realized we couldn't do it, and they come on board, and it's been a year now and it's starting to work really great. Cooperation between the two organizations has just been fantastic. We've met a lot of new friends too. There are other carving groups that are getting into it and have been in it. Some do a few. Out of this particular group here, we got the two, we sort of got mass production here. It's for, in the state of Maine alone, this number is staggering. There are 350,000 veterans. Not all of them need canes. Thank the Lord for that. But by going in the production that you've seen on the tape of the different stages, we got Joe and Don here, and one lady couldn't make it, putting out one roughed out head after the other. And this, I take it from here and go to the finished product here. This is what the guys have started with. So by working in conjunction with each other, out of this group right here, we've put out now, as of this now, we've put out 240 canes. Some carvers put quite a few out, some just put a few out, but we all are serving the purpose of putting the canes out. And between the two organizations now and the people who are working together, it's just great. Most of them are given out through other people. We don't see all the veterans, but when we do, especially when we first got doing, I gave one down at the VA in the waiting area, and I gave it to him, and he started crying. I thought that was sort of funny, but he said, nobody's ever done anything for us. Never. Without us having to beg for it, pay for it, or lie about it. So that got me hooked. We like to have the veterans that we carve for to be from Maine or live in Maine. We don't have any rules. The national group, where we get started, they have a bunch of rules and regulations, and we threw all the rules and regulations out. And what we do is we give canes to veterans. That's the only rule. We do really, because of the demand, is we have to ask now if they need a cane. If they don't need a cane, please wait until they do. Because the guys that need it deserve it. And the veterans that have asked for a cane, that don't need a cane, have been very understanding. They say, we understand. I said, call me back in a year, 2 years when you need a cane. Was it Mike? Most of the people that we work with are veterans. I'm a veteran. Everybody here is a veteran. The cameraman is a veteran. Been a lot of fun. We get a lot more than we give.